Stop having children. I repeat, stop having children that you cannot afford to take care of. And you wonder why you always broke. You wonder why you can't never get ahead. Because you continue to bring children in this world that you can't even afford to take care of.
He definitely was speaking a lot of facts in this video, but he also said some things that were a bit of a red flag for me. Hi, and welcome to another video. In this video, I'm gonna go over what this man has to say. He says that having children while broke is the #1 cause of poverty, and I couldn't agree more, but I wanted to see what he had to say. I had reviewed this man's content before, so, he be saying a lot of truth on here. I don't know the person. I'm just giving credit for the video. His YouTube is Lamarck Triplet. I'm going to play the video. I may pause in between just to share my thoughts. Also would like to know your thoughts just to add value to the video based off my own experience as a woman who gave birth to children while broke.
Stop having children. I repeat, stop having children that you cannot afford to take care of. Because the average person in this country makes around $40,000 to $50,000 a year. That's the average. The average cost to take care of one child in this country a year is around $23,000 to $29,000 a year. And that varies based on the city and the state that you're in. It could be more expensive than that. That's more than half of what you're bringing in a year. And you wonder why you always broke. You wonder why you can't never get ahead. Because you continue to bring children in this world that you can't even afford to take care of. And I understand that this might be a comfortable situation and a lot of people might not agree with me, but it's the truth. Children are a financial burden. Why would you continue to bring children in this world when you don't even got your shit together? Let's just use the government shutdown for an example. Millions of children are going hungry because of their parent bad decision making. They brought them in this world without having a financial situation in order. And y'all are steady bringing children in right now because you think the government is going to save you when they can just snatch the rug away from under you at any given moment. And now you got millions of children about to go hungry, and that's not fair to them. That's not fair. You should make sure that you got your financial situation in order. You should make sure that you in some type of relationship or marriage before you continue to bring children in this world. You should learn from other people's mistakes or learn from your mistakes. Why you steady having children when you are already struggling, making $15 an hour, $20 an hour, when I just told you it costs around 30 grand to take care of one child, and you making $40,000, $45,000, $50,000 a year? You're never going to get financial freedom when you continue to bring children in this world. And depending on the government, that's not going to work out long term because they don't give a damn about your kids. They know that your kids are starving right now and they not throwing a bone at you. They're not giving you no money. And a lot of people is resorting to committing crimes to feed their children. And I'm not talking about the people that in a position where they can have multiple children. If you can do that, knock yourself out. But that's not the majority of the people. Majority of people cannot even afford to take care of themselves, let alone 3 or 4 or 5 different people they got to feed. And guess what? The world is only about to get more expensive. And I'm seeing a lot of people talking about, well, it takes a village. Guys, y'all can get rid of that. I understand that it takes a village to raise a child, and it's cool if the grandmama or the family members or your friends can help you out. But at the end of the day, that's your responsibility. Everybody is working now. The village is working. Everybody is struggling. Well, not everybody. Majority of people is struggling, bro. Your mother has to work. Grandma got to work. Grandma can't retire. Your siblings, they got to work. Everybody got to work. It's hard out here. So when you go out here and make these decisions to bring these children in this world, you should look in the mirror and hold yourself accountable. And stop blaming them. Oh, he got me pregnant. Oh, she did this, she did that. Guess what, ladies? You bear more responsibility of bringing children in this world because 9 times out of 10, you are going to get stuck with the child. So you need to be super cautious of who you allow to come, inside of you. Because if I was a woman and I see a dude, he ain't got his finances in order, he a bum. No, sir, get up out my way. And if I was a man, I look at what the rest of these dudes is going through with child support court. I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I'm resort. I'm reserve I'm straight. I'm already struggling right now trying to figure life out. Why would I continue to bring children in this world? So y'all can point the blame at the women, at the men. At the end of the day, it's your choice. It's your fault. When I was 18 and 19, when I had my 2 children, I was young. I wasn't mature, but I made that decision. But guess what I did? I learned from it. I ain't had another child since. Because I didn't have no parents in my life. I didn't have a father in my life. Didn't nobody teach me how to be a father. I was confused, bro. I was scared around that time. I'm in high school and I had my first child. Then a year after high school, I had my second child. And I'm thinking to myself, is this the road that I want to go down? And those first years were scary, bro. It was scary. And I'm not finna make that decision again. Those bad choices again. Because I can point the finger at everybody else. But at the end of the day, accountability is for me. Men, hold yourself accountable. Women, hold yourself accountable. Because let me talk to the women for a second. Whether you want to point the blame at your baby dad or anybody else, the court's going to hold himself accountable. You got to make sure that you take care of yourself and reserve yourself and protect your womb. Because the man going to get held accountable. Trust me, the state, I don't care if he try to run away from his responsibilities, the state is going to hold him accountable. Trust me. Gentlemen, don't be out here having children by multiple women, bro. You need to jump up out of that. I don't care how good it is, bro. You got to think about, is this worth 18 years of financial hardship? Maybe 21 years. So a lot of you people do not need to be having children, let alone multiple children, because it's not fair to them children to come into this world struggling. It's not fair for them children to come into this world born in poverty. And you wonder why these children are disrespectful to elders. They don't respect their peers. They out here committing crimes and they don't even respect you because of the environment that they are raised in. The uncomfortable truth that a lot of people need to have is this conversation right here. I don't want to hear nothing about no legacy. I don't want to hear nothing about I want to leave something behind. Bro, that's a fallacy. That's a fantasy that they sold you for you to continue to keep having children. And most of the children are being born in poverty-stricken areas. It's the poor people that continue to have children that they can't afford to have. And they depending on the government to come in and substitute as a father. Bro, protect yourself. Protect yourself, right? Hold yourself accountable for your decision. I guarantee you're going to live a better life because you can point the finger and blame everybody. Bro, I'm telling you, accountability is what we need. Because if we can hold ourselves accountable, everything else really don't even matter anymore because it doesn't matter. We have to make the right choices. We have to make the right decisions and stop looking for everybody else to give us a handout or help us out. Quit getting mad because your mama don't want to take care of your kids or your brothers or ain't nobody watching your kids. That's your children. That's your fault. We're not living in the old days anymore. The older generation have to get out of retirement to continue to work because the Social Security is not enough. You guys see most of these elderly people every single day have to get back into the workforce. Why are you trying to put more stress and burden on them to help you take care of your children that you decide to lay down to have with a person that doesn't deserve to be a father? Come on, guys. Let's get it together.
Just let the video play out, but no, he definitely was speaking a lot of facts in this video, but he also said some things that were a bit of a red flag for me. Starters, when he was talking about why do you keep having kids knowing that you don't have the finances, the funds or whatnot. And yeah, of course, that is a ridiculous thing to do. But notice how in the video he says that, you know, the kids aren't having respect for their parents. They're unruly, X, Y, and Z. These are all generational curses, y'all. This is all spiritual. Once you understand the spiritual thing that's going on, you understand why people are doing what they're doing. A lot of people are having kids out of hurt, out of pain, and out of just pure irresponsibility. Something comes up for me when it was not Chris Brown, it was Nick Cannon. He said that he was trauma bonded.
So you think having all those kids was a response to your trauma?
Yeah, 100. Now I'm learning that now. Yeah, and it wasn't like I was acting out. It was more of being careless, being frivolous with my process because I could do it, because I had the money, because I had the access to whoever and however I wanted to move. And, you know, okay, they coming at me. They asking me, opposed to like doing the mature thing and saying, hey, well, it would probably makes more sense to do this. And then obviously life happens as well. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna go have 12 kids. It was more about like, yo, I'm gonna just live life and have fun, and whatever happens, I can handle it. When it probably, you know, being almost 45 now, I can sit back and be like, yeah, if I would have thought the process through a little bit more and took time to actually do the inner work, things might have been a little different in certain scenarios.
You wouldn't have 12 kids.
I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing, because I've always said this, every child that I had was made out of love, and there were strong relationships. It's just, if I would have did the work and the healing after getting divorced, I probably would have took my time in a lot of other scenarios. And for whatever reason, I thought that was the answer a lot of times. It was like, oh, well, I'm gonna figure it out over here. Opposed to like, yo, now you're leaving trauma every step of the way, instead of, you know, fixing it from its origin and then being able to present itself. But then I mean, like concepts like monogamy and stuff like that, I still feel the same way about that. I was going to
ask you, has your view on that changed then?
Nah, not really. Not for me, you know, and that, again, that's the work of, you know, whether you want to go back to like Freud's process of like my childhood and my upbringing. I grew up in a very unorthodox situation and household, so I've always understood that, you know, love happens differently. So monogamy has never really been my thing, but so that I'm pretty sure that plays a part of it as well too.
That he was trauma, like bonding through having kids, like he was having the kids through trauma. And when people like saw it, like that he said that, they were shocked. But unfortunately, I could relate. Now, of course, just a quick disclaimer: I love my kids, and I get what I gotta get done. And they in my journey is different from what your journey is going to be. I essentially had my kids. I had to have them in order to be under control. Okay, sometimes you have to learn through experience, unfortunately, but that's what happened. He hit the nail on the head with that. A lot of people are having kids to fill a void, all right, selfishly. And while kids are blessings, it does not mean that you go and you just bring kids into a toxic situation all out of selfishness. If you want to have a kid, you really have to sit down and understand, why do you want a child right now? Look at your situation, not just from a financial aspect, but from eternally. Like, where is, and excuse me if I sound like kind of is that season, but you really have to like look at it and wonder, like, what exactly are you trying to have this youth for? Another thing to think about is that another point that he made that was so spot on was welfare. Welfare was created to belittle us, lower our confidence, and make us dependent on the white man.
How many children to feed?
10.
10 children.
Yes.
Are there times when you don't have enough food at the house to go around?
Yes, lots of times.
There are times
Just have to make out what I have, give each one of them a little what I have.
What did you have for dinner today?
I didn't have any dinner.
You're going to have a baby before long.
Yes.
Mrs. Sanders, what does your husband do for a living?
He gets a job in Hayfield.
In Hayfield?
Yes.
How much does he make when he's working?
From $3 to $4 a day.
$3 to $4 a day?
Yes.
And he hasn't worked now in 3 or 4 weeks?
Yes.
Do you get food stamps?
No, because I'm not able to get them.
Why?
I ain't got them this month. They cost $70 and I don't have it.
Have you asked for any help from anyone in raising the money to buy those stamps?
No, there ain't no need.
Why?
They ain't gonna give it to you.
Have you been down to the welfare department and talked to them, or has your husband?
No, so the last time I went to the welfare, the lady told me, said that if you have a living husband, that they couldn't give you no help.
Even if he's not working?
Yes.
That it is what it is. Make us dependent on the system. It is a complete fallacy and a complete illusion that they have created for everybody on this thing. They advertise their propaganda, their media to other countries to make it seem like this is a safe haven. This is a place to go. My people are Jamaican, and there's so many Jamaicans that want to be like Americans and want to do this, that, and the third. And then they come here and they realize it was all a lie. This place is not it's not freedom. It's an illusion of freedom, when in reality it's algorithmically set up for you to have to work 40 plus 50 plus hours, and those 40 hours aren't really 40 hours. Commute, lunch breaks, all of that. This country is designed to make you think that there's help, when in reality the help that they're dishing out is really creating complacency, really making people think that they could just pop out these babies and you'll be good. You have WIC. Now, I'm grateful that these programs are available if you are in that situation, but they create such a safety net that women, foreigners, and people that live here and were raised here alike believe everything's going to be okay. We have WIC, we have food stamps, they'll take care of you. Da 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 da. That makes it easier, okay? Easier for you to slip up and make that mistake and know that, okay, well, at least I'll be good. I don't need to have a man. And that was the plan all along. As a woman, it is essential for you to choose the proper man. I'm telling you, it's stressing this so much. They push all of this stuff through the media with the Ice Spices and the Cardi B's and the all of the degradation. And most people are just going to look up to those women because they see that they have finances, they have allure, X, Y, and Z. But in reality, they are sellouts, designed and are puzzle pieces to the grand scheme of things. Okay, they are a part of the reason why they are pushing and advocating and promoting single motherhood, making, because those actions, being a thought, being loose, being out there, not valuing your virginity, your virtue, is going to end you up in a nutty position. One thing I did disagree with what he said, but he probably just meant if you kept having kids, is that you will never become successful. And I mean, I agree to a certain extent if he meant that, you know, if you keep having kids and you're not like being responsible, you're having them irresponsibly, you're not financially taking care of them, you're not helping them, and you're doing this, you're, you know, rerunning the same mistakes. But if you have kids and you came to this conclusion and you came to this understanding, or you made a mistake, or whatever the case is, you can be successful. It's going to be hard. You're going to have to really evaluate your life and stop making the same decisions that put you into the situation in the first place. And then another thing I also feel like here and there with is the whole, you know, the state is going to hold the men accountable. Okay, I mean, yeah, definitely in certain states they are holding men accountable, X, Y, and Z. But if the father doesn't have a job in certain situations, they aren't going to collect child support. Like there is, where are they going to get the child support? Yes, they could lock the kid's father up and X, Y, and Z. And that just continues the cycle. Honestly, the most important thing, the Most High is going to hold the man accountable, hold everybody accountable in the situation. In the meantime, you need to be focused on getting out of the situation, providing and holding and having accountability, because there are so many ways to make money. It's just there's a lot of knowledge and information is hidden. But if you when there's a will, there's a way. Okay, when there is a will, there's a way. And if you are a child of the Most High, you know that anything through Him is possible. protection, blessings, abundance, all of that is possible through him. And then I wanted to say something else that he said towards the end of the video about, before you lay down with somebody, decide if if you're ready to spend the next 18 years or 21 years taking care of this kid. It is even more than that. It is the rest of your life, okay? The rest of your life. Because with all of the toxic chemicals, the things, the spiritual battles that's going on, you don't know if you could give birth to someone who is disabled. Now that is truly the rest of your life. Autism is at an all-time high. There are different levels to it, but there are women that still live with their 30, 40-year-old autistic son or daughter because that's a lifelong commitment. And people need to understand it's more than just what you think it is, but more importantly, you have to make sure that you are married. Okay, everything is biblical. Everything comes back to Bible prophecy, comes back to what God said, God's word. And a lot of people want to run away from it. Atheists, people and all these different type of religions want to run away from it and make it seem like you're crazy or you have bad spirits or whatever the case is. But if you notice, everything comes back to God's words. There's people out here who are atheists who say, I'm not paying for why are we paying all my tax dollars towards people's kids, X, Y, and Z? They need to make sure that they are established first financially in a relationship. What does God say? God said it is better to be married than to burn. This is all, nothing is new. They not coming up with these philosophies. God already told us what it is, and that's because he created us. So if he created us, he has the instruction manual to us. So wouldn't your creator know how to help us run and operate smoothly? When you get a computer or when you get a phone or whatever you get, so that's mechanical, for example, it comes with an instruction manual. It comes with, okay, don't put water on this or there'll be consequences. The same thing goes for our God. He created everything. Everything's a replica of what he created. He says, get married. If you can't resist, get married. Wow, or there will be dire consequences. And now look at the society that we live in. Another thing that I disagree with what he said is, the legacy being a fallacy, being a lie told by the government or whatever the case is. I completely disagree with that. God lets us know about our legacy. There are biblical verses that go over the importance and the punishment of being completely childless in in certain situations. If you go to Leviticus 20:21, this is KJV, and if a man shall take his brother's wife, it is an unclean thing. He hath uncovered his brother's nakedness. They shall be childless. Okay. So imagine them, being together or whatever the case in that circumstance, and then not being able to bear any children. Another example was in with Abraham and Sarah when they went. Pharaoh's Abraham told Sarah to say, "Hey, you're just my sister." And then Pharaoh looked on Sarah because she was very beautiful and took her. Okay. But then God came to him and was like, hey, you're a dead man walking, essentially. And Pharaoh was like, oh, he didn't know, right? I don't know if he was a Pharaoh, but he was some type of king. Okay. And essentially, he gave back Sarah, but during that period, all of the women that were there, okay, could not bear any children. Their wombs were shut up. That is a punishment. If that is a punishment, that means that there is some type of legacy that is that is to be upheld. There are people in the Bible, I forgot who it was, but that have been honored to be a descendant of David or to be known as that as a woman. That is an honorable thing. The same way when David was praising the Most High with instruments, and there was like a big parade, and they were excited because they won this war, this battle, and I forgot her name. I will look it up and put it on the screen, but she was upset, like for whatever reason, jealous about whatever how Some women can be kind of like how Steph Curry and Aisha Curry are right now. Like she was just mad about it, like that. Like why? And God closed the room up, and she had no kids. There was no more of her, no more legacy. Your blood runs through the next generation. Now, of course, if you're just popping out babies and having multiple baby daddies and stuff like that, you're not creating a good legacy at all. You're creating a lot of broken families. But if the actual legacy concept is a beautiful thing and it's a great thing, if you are married and are passing on the knowledge and the truth, we need people in the truth to pass on lineage, to pass on that knowledge. It's not just about blood. It's not just about, flesh. That is not even the main thing. It is about spiritual blessings. It is about, just like how there are generational curses, there are generational blessings. We are in a lethal, toxic environment, a spiritual battle, a war, where there are people who are passing on their lineage and their legacy. I can't say certain things, but the people, the Alphabet Club are adopting slash passing on genetically, spiritually, their ideologies and the sin really that is running rampant. We do need people who are in the truth to at least break those curses and maybe bring more people to Christ, because this is a serious situation. And then lastly, I just want to touch on what he said towards the end of the video about stop getting mad at your parents for not taking care of your kids. And I totally agree with that concept because we are in normal times. If you look, grandparents, he definitely talked about the ones that are getting older in age, having to come out of retirement to go and work again. I see older people, and it's so sad and frustrating, working in Arby's and McDonald's because their social security scan isn't enough to suffice because of inflation, because of the rising cost of everything, right? But he also didn't talk about the grannies that are out here in booty shorts, the grannies that are clinging onto youth so much so that they don't want to take on the responsibility of being an elder, that their hourly heads are being bleached and dyed to try to fit into a narrative that they no longer fit into. Once you're older, once you're, in a certain age, you should be honored with the wisdom that you have. But a lot of these grandmothers aren't regular grannies anymore. And it's really sad because there used to be a time where there was nation building, bonding, help with each other. But nowadays, you gotta be on high alert, okay? You can't expect people to just come in and say, that's what happens with a family unit, okay? But that's all I really have to say in this video about this topic at the moment. Definitely did touch on a lot of good things, but there were just some things I felt like needed to be addressed. But if you have any thoughts on this, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. With all that being said, seek the Most High. These are the end times. Someone has said if these are the last days, this is the last hour. Okay, we all can feel it who are spiritually connected, and the people that are coming in can feel it as well. People are waking up, and Bible prophecy is unfolding. Okay, we have this amazing opportunity through His Son Christ to create this bond with our Father, to be able to have this opportunity to be with Him, because otherwise we would be damned. Okay, so take advantage. And when I say take advantage, He knows your heart, so He knows who truly loves Him and truly wants to serve Him, and those who are just in it for some type of reward. Okay, you see the times, you see what it is. Okay, I also have a book out, Melanated and Expecting, actually piggybacking off of this whole situation, things that I wish I knew before motherhood, during, and after motherhood, about these medical systems and these systems put in place for paperwork, birth certificates, passports, things of that nature. If you want to check it out, the link is either in the description or in the pinned comment. With all that being said, seek the Most High, stay spiritually sober-minded on these streets. Peace.